Grandsire was one of them, I think. Kunti also. That was one of my personal favorites. It was with a big cast. I think there was like 40 cast when Maharaj did that at some point. Bilbamanga Thakur, yeah, Shakshi Gopal, so many plays. And I believe recently Maharaj has been doing some filming also. There was one film that was made throughout COVID, I think last year, and just recently Maharaj was getting together with a crew and making another film. And
he's also revealing his pride in his personality.
Yes, absolutely. So Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he's also the GBC. So responsible for the temples in Canada, governing body commission in Canada here, and probably not just Canada. I think you have more duty zones that you're looking after. So without further ado, I would like to again let's welcome Maharaj and hear what he has to share with us today. Thank you.
How are you? 10 feet, right?
6 feet, I can't give 6 feet. My hands are not that far.
Thank you so much for the nice introduction. And it has been a long time since physically we've been here. So it is a pleasure. And yesterday we had the good fortune to participate in our annual Vaishnava Farm Garden Fest for basically this part of the world in Canada. And it was very successful at the new farm here outside in the Russell area. Good, so should we chant Jai Radhananda? Okay, all right, good, thank you very much all for coming. Sunil, sorry we had to leave you, but just had to get ready. All right, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Parivrajiga Sattara Sattasi Siva. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktimarga Swami Prabhupada Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Bhaktimarga Swami Tunamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini Nirvishe Shushunyavari Paschatiri Satarine. Hare Krishna. Jai. So before we get started with our lesson today, which is going to be called Just Do It, I was requested to just write one of my poems. It's about gossip. And you know that gossip is an activity that's rampant. It's around the world and it can be very damaging. And so we thought we'd write about it and maybe come up with a solution. It may not be a solvable problem, to be honest with you, but we should know that it's not a nice thing, all right? So this is called Loose Tongue Monster, okay? Gossip is the cowardly, unofficial occupation of a jerk. Volunteers are either on part or full-time work. Call it a toxic tongue, a plague worse than a pandemic, a dirty and dark behind-the-back dynamic, a casual chat where the truth is not confirmed, a devil's radio whose broadcast can't be reversed. Gossipy people have nothing of substance to say. Fabrications from their mouth are always on display. It's a syndrome, a condition of verbal diarrhea. They are rumor addicts, like alcoholics on tequila. Do take note that those who gossip to you will eventually and inevitably gossip about you. And those who know so little about you suddenly become an authority, having all the goods on you. Perhaps the greatest human offender is the gossiper, though feeling their contribution the status of a philosopher. Little do they know that gossip, a lethal weapon, will act karmically as if to beckon, like a boomerang that's suddenly released, and comes back to haunt and strike like a beast. So stay away from this backstabbing game. Stay away from fault finders who bear no shame. Stay away from loose-tongued monsters of derision, and hold hands with folks who have some vision. A superior investment to being critical is to point out the good in an individual. Don't let that big, fat mouth try to obstruct two good listening ears poised to reconstruct. Any hope for a rumor monger perhaps is our deep prayer, a call for a miracle, compassion, and help on a major repair. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Yeah. I'm going to read a little excerpt from volume 5 of the book Memories, which is compiled by Siddhanta Prabhu. And we're quoting someone that you know. His name is Guru Prasad. Over there. No, it's you. Okay, Samir from Montreal called me to say that Srila Prabhupada was at the temple. When I entered into the main temple, the place was empty. Then I went near the kitchen, and the devotees there told me Prabhupada was in the Prasadam hall. As soon as I entered the Prasadam hall, Prabhupada was standing right in front of me. Do you remember this? I was really surprised to see him there, and I immediately offered my obeisance. Prabhupada asked me my name and where I was from. Then he asked me the question, "Are you chanting Hare Krishna?" I took it as whether I was chanting regularly 16 rounds like other devotees. I told him, "I'm trying to chant, Prabhupada." He quickly responded, "Oh, you're trying? What is the difficulty? Just do it." I guess Prabhupada came up with the phrase, "Just do it," before Nike, the sporting company, adopted it as their catchphrase. Then we all came down to the temple, and Prabhupada had a gathering with the devotees. At one point, Prabhupada asked if anyone had any question. I was going through a rather difficult situation at the time, so I asked, "I am not really succeeding in material life. Neither am I latching onto my spiritual process. So what should I do?" Prabhupada repeated the same thing, "Chant Hare Krishna." Prabhupada told me twice the same day, "Chant Hare Krishna." Eventually I found out that is actually the process for happiness in this age. Hare Krishna. And that's my basis for talking about just do it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, thank you very much, Guru Prasad Prabhu, and we appreciate so much your services and taking the the lead of our community here for 2-3 years, something like that. Thank you so much. Let's hear for him. So on this particular, the mood, the spirit is really coming from Krishna. Let's get it done. Let's get moving along. If you have a dream, it's suggested go for it. That's the kind of common phrase these days. Even if your dream is somewhat corrupted and might hurt other people, it doesn't matter. Might offend, still just do it. That's the mood. It's like, and it's an echo, or it's a message from the mode of passion. You've got a desire, go for it. There is this one motivational speaker's name is Shia LaBeouf, and you can catch it online, and he's very dramatical about it. And he goes, "Just do it," almost as if to shake the world. Do it. Fulfill your dreams. What are you waiting for? Just do it. And he says it with incredible explosiveness and passion. And, in many ways, Krishna is also expressing the same spirit, attitude. Let's do it, Arjuna, come on. Now, Arjuna was sort of a broken man, and he fell into depression, and, he knew what his duty was. And Krishna basically tried to shake him up a little bit in a different way. Arjuna was shaken, but Krishna was trying to shake him in another direction. And that comes clear in the beginning of the Gita, in the 2nd chapter, Ashochan, Anvachochas from Prajagnpadya Shasase, Katusung Akasungscha Nanu Shochanti Pandita. So he was saying that act like a pundit, act like a scholar, like you're speaking like a wise person, but you're not acting like one. So act like one, and realize one thing, that the wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. So act, do something. When we are hesitant of doing something or apprehensive, it usually means that we're attacked or influenced by tamagun, mode of ignorance. It's simply that, where we hesitate and where there's, lethargy. And so the beautiful example is given there in the Mahabharata, where it was Yudhishthira that was edged on by Krishna to say, Ashwatthama is dead. Ashwatthama, of course, referring to an elephant that had that name, Ashwatthama. And so the quick story behind this episode is that the Dronacharya was extremely effective fighting on the behalf of the Kauravas. And the Kauravas are on the other side of Arjuna. And so things were looking very grim for the Pandavas, whom everyone favors. And so then Krishna came in to act as a strategist, which he did many times during the war. And it was, Krishna thought, okay, this is what we're going to have to do. We're really going to have to take away this sort of prowess and bravado from Dronacharya, who was a very, very effective at felling down, people, soldiers on the side of the Pandavas. And Krishna thought the dearmost thing to Drona is his son. So let's see him break down if he hears that his son has also maybe fallen on the battlefield. So that was the strategy. It's quite smart, and some people might, take it as an act of, maybe see it as something critical on the part of Krishna. But nevertheless, it did work. It was effective. Dronacharya was just, hammering away in the battle and being extremely effective. And then Krishna was saying, you Yudhishthira, you the king, the major commander, the next sovereign of the world, you have to simply shout this out, that Ashwatthama is dead. Ashwatthama being the son of Drona. And Yudhishthira, who always represented the emblem of righteousness and what is just and so on like that, was a little apprehensive. He thought it was too much of a white lie. And so he said, he did say it though, but he was hesitant. Finally, he said it in the battlefield in the midst of all the war and everything going, and dust flying, and body parts flying, and everything going on, lots of noise and everything. In the midst of it, what pierced through was that voice, Ashwatthama is dead. And then Yudhishthira, so he screamed this out and said, in a lower voice, Ashwatthama, the elephant. Okay. So Drona only heard the loud part. I said, what? My son is gone. He's everything to me. I'm living for him. And if this is true, what am I here for? Life has no meaning anymore. He basically lost his oomph, And so he laid down his guard, put down his weapons, and then, Pandavas took advantage of that moment. So we bring this up because Yudhishthira, Maharaj, was hesitating. And because he was hesitating at the moment when the Supreme Lord is giving some direction, therefore he had to take some karma for this. And the karma was he had to have a glimpse of, an aspect of hell, and he had to visit it to see a little bit what this is all about, this place of discomfort. We can think of many examples. Now, think about yourselves. You know that everyone knows they have to do something in life that they feel they have to do. Like, say, it could be losing weight, losing pounds, losing karma. It could be, I have to, endeavor more with my studies, or I have to do my job a little better. I have to please, and I have to do a little bit more of an effort in my relationship with my life partner. And, because sometimes it goes sour and we're not getting along. So everyone knows you have to do something, it's the onus is on you. It's not on the other person. You know yourself, you feel deep down inside. The truth lies in what I can do, not what others can do. So therefore, the message is there. Just do it. Get it done. Now, first of all, I looked up, where this phrase came from, and it is Nike that sort of played up on this just do it phrase. And it came from, it was inspired by a man by the name of Gilmore, who in Utah, he was charged for 2 murders. And in some states, they still honor the capital punishment, right? So in this case, it was like a firing squad. And I guess he had contemplated on it. This is in 1976. And he just kind of like looked at the situation, looked at the adversaries or so-called adversaries on the other side, and he realized that what was the inevitable. He was going to die. So his phrase was, let's do it, right? Instead of just do it, but it's almost the same. Let's do it. And that went viral, or let's say that went all over the world. He became famous for, let's just get on with the show. And so the first ad or promotional piece that came out for the Nike sporting company was a man in his 80s, and he's sort of jogging, and the phrase is, just do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it, So this is like a message of moving forward and putting an end to the hesitancy and just forging ahead to doing what we have to do. Let's think as devotees, what are the things we have to do? We have to go back to Godhead. That's the ultimate goal, So just do it, right? I also have to love Krishna. That's the way to get, that is the ticket to heaven, to love him, So just do it. And what is the kind of energy that brings that about, to bring you to that state of just doing it? It's called Lolyam Apimulyam from Rupa Goswami's teachings, enthusiasm. So just do it, And there's other things. Maybe we're hesitant about, some of us have been around for a while and say, well, I know I should take some steps closer towards Krishna consciousness. Or for some of us, we're maybe chanting 1 round a day on the mala. And so you should do 2, double it at least. Prabhupada used that phrase, double it, in terms of book distribution. So then just do it. You should. And just do it. Maybe some of us have been chanting for a while, and we're just, sort of puttering around, and one day it's this many rounds, and other days it's something else, up and down, and like a merry-go-round. And inside you have to say, just do it, you good for nothing. Just do it, Basically, you have to just, talk to your ego and say, listen, bro, we've got to get serious here. You know what has to be done. You know what's right. You know what's in the mode of goodness. Prabhupada has been saying it. Devotee's been saying it. There's some certain kind of pressure on there, and so you have to just admit, let's do it. Some people have an apprehension about being engaging in what we call satsang, and being with devotees, and like we have a weekly program, whether it's on Zoom or now physically we can come together, and so let's just do it. I mean, there's other people and other faith groups who actually get together once in a week, and they take seriously to their particular vows and their values. And like if you go sort of in Jewish neighborhood, more Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, on Friday night, they're walking the streets, and they don't use a car, and they may not even press an elevator. You're supposed to stay away. So, and you go to the temple or the synagogue. So for a lot of people, they just say, well, just do it, you stubborn old mule, which is the address to the ego. And after all, like the Christians go on Sunday, and well, what am I doing? Am I a weekly person, or am I just I'll just come around when it's Janmashtami or something like that, and I'll bathe my soul then. But how often do we need to bathe our soul? I think it's pretty regular, like maybe on a daily basis, maybe on the hour. Just kind of take it seriously. This is what we mean by just do it. Means let's get serious. And Krishna throws out some messages to Arjuna very clearly, like he says, don't lament. He repeats that second chapter again and again. Don't lament. Don't cry. This is not worth crying over. There's more things worth crying over. Like if your soul is having trouble, your soul has reached a dark hour, moment in life, or you're just not, you're not very enthusiastic about engaging in bhakti, then it's time just, what you have to do, just do it, And so Krishna is saying, don't lament. And then he says, he talks in sort of direct or indirect way, he's saying, conquer the enemy of what we call lust, which comes in many shapes and forms, which can be found in different strategic locations in the body, the mind, and our words, our intelligence. Lust lies there, and he's identifying the all sinful enemy of mankind, womankind too. And so conquer it, through cultivation of knowledge. That fire of desire can be extinguished. So just do it. And in many other places, we find Krishna is giving very direct instructions. Finally comes chapter 18. Well, let's go to 19. He says, Man manava bhakto majajin mang namaskuru. And he says it later on, 8-9 chapters later, and he's pretty much saying the same thing. And that is, love me. And anyway, how can you force anybody to love someone? He says, well, just try to love me. Try something. Prabhupada also one time said a Vaishnava is somebody who tries, not that you just think about it. You think about it, think about doing it? No, just do it. Yeah. JDI, that's if you can remember that. Everyone's in short forms these days. And I have a real hard time with it. I go sometimes to meetings with our leaders and, what's that? What's GHCC? What does that stand for? What is this or that? Sometimes I get introduced as a GBC. Well, is that like ABC? Or if somebody's new, they don't know what that means, Am I 3 letters? Is that what I'm worth? 3 letters? So it's made very clear. Then 1866, the Lord says, surrender, just submit yourself. Let's just do it. After all, everything else has been tried. Everything else, it's a fact. We have ventured into every zone possible, every sphere, and we have considered that. To experiment in all different areas of sense pleasure. We've made very honest attempts to be really good-hearted sense gratifiers. We've tried really good to be nice and sinful, but to be nice and materialistic, We've been very sincere about it. And all Krishna is saying, let's be sincere about going in the reverse. Let's go in different directions. Let us go in the direction of submission, full submission to Krishna. And so he says, Sarva dharman parijajya mamikang sharanang vraja ahang twang sarva papibhyo mokshashami mashacha, which simply means that, submit, give up all varieties of responsibilities and basically just submit and surrender unto me. And the return is so unbelievably astronomical. He removes sin, karma, and he also then agrees to award liberation. And that's what it means. When everything is cleared away, when all the clutter is out of our heart, then one is awarded moksha. And then stress is also relieved. No more stress. That's the biggest thing in people's life. I'm so stressed out, man. And Krishna is just saying, well, why are you doing it to yourself? It's self-imposed. It's simply self-imposed. You don't need to go there. But it seems like it's part of the culture. He's stressed, she's stressed. You know? Remember, I have a sister-in-law. She said, my daughter, she was not 8 years old, and she's saying, Mom, I'm stressed out. And that was like about 3 decades ago. In those days, stressed out was only for adults. But now, of course, people are realizing that being stressed can be very applicable to anybody in any age. But just how stressed? Come on, we're living in Canada. Life is pretty cozy and easy going, and everybody lives on easy street. You know, it's not that bad. Visit some other countries and check out what's going on around, and you'll see you're not stressed. You know, again, it's just self-imposed. So get up and get over it and grow up and be an adult and just move forward with what has to be done. So just do it, you know. And what are you waiting for? That's the message. So Srila Prabhupada was very good at this, encouraging us all to move forward in the directions that are required. And certainly in the early days of ISKCON, we were seeing that our devotees had all this incredible vim and vigor, and you know, we did everything for him. We engaged in all kinds of austerities, and there was no apprehension, you know. And it was like that. Maybe sometimes we didn't really, let's say, look forward, look totally into the future, said, okay, I can do that, but I maybe have to balance my life and take care of some other things. Let's also look at some other instructions. You know, somebody asked Prabhupada, what is the most important thing for me? He said, take care of your health. Why? Because then you can serve nicely, right? I mean, I think I mentioned this once before too. I was walking in Ohio, and there was 2 trails, and they merged as one. And next to me was this woman, a little bit younger than me, and also a bit shorter, and says, "Hi, how are you?" And I think I kind of scared her because, you know, it was this like the Midwest, you know, they don't see people like this very often. I didn't look cowboyish enough or conservative enough. But we got on really well in the end. And I said, do you do this every day? I said, well, yes, I do. I said, and may I ask, why do you do this every day? I said, I do this, and we're walking. I do this because I will be in good shape so that I can serve my Lord and his people. So I thought it was just a perfect answer. So she came to some resolve in her own life that I'm just going to do it. You know, she made this commitment. This is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. This is what I know I have to do. So I'm just going to do it. So the things that cause us to hesitate is what? Desires. There's other elements in our life that are maybe more important. We haven't quite prioritized enough. Just like, say, if you're a surgeon and, you know, and you've got your instruments ready to do the cut, you know, and you've got all your assistants around. What if you just stand there? And everyone, you know, people look at each other. Somebody better tell the boss that we should be. So when something has to be done, and it's very much about striking at the right moment, getting the right time, right place, circumstance, desha, kala, patra. And, you know, that would be almost like an act of madness or absent-mindedness when something needs to be done and it's just not getting done. You know, the things that cause the hesitation are definitely motive ignorance. And of course, the best excuse of all that we hear sometimes from, well, it's Kali Yuga, Prabhu. You want me to do this, you want me to do that, and it's Kali Yuga, so therefore, you know, I can't submit to this and I can't submit to that. So it's okay to make excuses, and therefore Krishna says, well, you know, you're not acting, you're not really functioning like a pundit, a wise person in this particular instance, so why not act like one then? What are some of the symptoms of a pundit? A pundit is one who Matravataradarishu. This is coming from Chanakya Pandit, who was a great moralist, and he said you should see, this is addressed to men, You should see all women as like, with respect, like practically like your mother. What else? So see all other people's possessions as garbage in the street. Like, don't be interested in it. Don't feel you have to keep up with their standard. Their standard might be unreachable, unapproachable, So don't feel you have to be out there. The only thing you have to do is to make sure that you have your body and soul together. For that, you must do it, right? And then finally, he says that, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat others as in a way that you understand what makes me feel good is likely what's going to make someone else feel good. Somebody might say it's back scratching, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's mutually back and forth. And usually, most people like back scratching. It feels good. I guess it's a massage, isn't it? Really, that's what we're talking about. And so, there's certain accepted kind of around the world truths of what we all accept to be, like an act of kindness, So be nice. I was talking to somebody a little earlier on the phone, and there was some little kerfuffle, there was some kind of dissension happening, in the community where he's coming from. And he said, Maharaj, I think we should just put up some signs on the wall that says, be nice, So that's another address. It would be nice. I mean, we're always very nice to ourselves, but you can be assured that if you're nice to others, they will also be nice to you. It starts with, going outside of your domain, and then you'll see a result will come back. It'll just come back in such a wonderful, let's say, like what can I say, a banana split, where it just comes as something very sweet and very, very welcoming. So Srila Prabhupada was very much like that. Just do it. Now, he was, let's say, before he came to the U.S. and traveled the world, there was some apprehension. There were some roadblocks in the way. And it was a little more physical. He didn't know how he could get to America. But he asked Sumati Murarji, a personal friend of his who was running a freighter company with boats going across the ocean. And she's a lady from Mumbai. And he asked her. And prior to that, he was, some of the people in her circle were also questioning, Swamiji, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to go over there? One man charges, I know why you're going to America. You're going to America because you want to enjoy America. No, but Prabhupada had in his mind that what his guru asked him to do, go to the English-speaking worlds and share Krishna consciousness with everybody. And as soon as that came to his heart, he never left it. And of course, he had to go through some channels. He lived through a life of like grihasta, looking after family and community and so on like that. But the order, the very strong order, more than just a suggestion, Prabhupada took it to heart. He felt, this is what I now have to do. And so he did it. And again, it wasn't easy, but he did it. So from his own example, he forged ahead. And so many things were like that in his particular life that where he could have hesitated. We know that he was looking at, at the Boston Harbor, or he was looking at the harbor in New York and saying, maybe I should go back to India. Things are not quite working out as he had anticipated. But he was not a quitter. I think that's what happens to all of us. Our mind tends to trick us, and we say, maybe I'm just on the wrong road, or maybe I'm on the wrong trail, and maybe I should just turn back and, consider that the situation was better before. But usually when you backtrack, you are just going in the reverse and going back to where you left off. And what will then eventually happen? Well, gee, it wasn't very gratifying. I should shoot for the rhinoceros and, even if I can't get the rhino, catch the rhino, people will understand, oh, well, it's a difficult job anyways. So the idea is to make a firm commitment, said, let me do something that I'm not doing now. And people always have a fear about the unknown. Um, and so why not look at the unknown like this? It's an adventure. It's something new. It's fresh. And I'll probably get stronger for venturing into the unknown. And if I don't go that route, then certainly I'll just shrug my shoulders, or I'll just say, oh shucks, I had the opportunity, I missed out, and then we have all this regret. So we don't want regret, do we? We want to, you want to go in there like a little bit like a warrior, sometimes get wounded, and a few scars, like a scar on the, on the face of a warrior. It looks, hey, he looks great. Wow, isn't it like that? A few marks here on the arm or something like that, or somewhere, oh, that's unique, But if you come out and go into the battlefield and you come out unscathed and said, ah, you didn't do anything. You don't got anything to show for you. There's not even a scratch. There's nothing missing. Where's your missing finger, bro? So show that you were out there and you did something honorable. And so the message is just do it. Do not hesitate. And I think it's a big sacrifice for people to come to terms with this, because everything that we're saying is that goes against the grain of a very, very materialistic society. We're saying don't gamble, okay? So for some people, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal. I don't gamble. I never have gambled. And then we're also suggesting to some people, and we're not imposing. We're not. Honestly, we must tell individuals that, with the 4 regulative principles, go at it at a pace that's fairly comfortable, but don't hesitate forever. Eventually, you must come to the point. Just do it, one by one. And like say, for instance, when it comes to our diet, our meat eating, some of us are addicted to eating the flesh. And we should maybe become educated on the point, well, how it's not a good thing to indulge in this kind of act of eating, innocent creatures that cannot defend themselves against our mighty and powerful and technologically advanced devices. But if we're a little bit smart, we'll say, well, I really don't want this karma, and I really don't want to, see others hurt. So maybe I can give this up. And again, at some point you have to say, just do it. I heard this morning somebody said it's 5% of the population that's vegetarian now. Yeah, is that right, Sunil? You were telling me 5% in North America. That's pretty good, because and it is growing. When I joined Krishna consciousness back in 1973, oh, it was way less than 1%, way down, And we didn't have a nice, sweet Hindu folks coming over, who were already vegetarian. I think they were, included in there, but, nice Gujarati folks, especially just South Indian folks coming from high Brahmin backgrounds. No, now we see people have made the decision to just do it, to make that strong commitment. In the back of our minds and our hearts, we all have some things that need to be done on our things to do list. And so we have to bring it to the fore, bring it in front of us and say, okay. And, if you're coming into an establishment and they say you wear masks, that's a very touchy topic, isn't it? And I hope I'm not being a hypocrite here, but I think I'm far enough away from you, Bruce, that I can get away with it for now. But kind of just do it. Just learn to cooperate a little bit. And bhakti means to cooperate with God. And that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj explained it once. Prabhupada's guru who said just kind of basically just do it, and in terms of cooperating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, SPG. So just cooperate. And then there's the other sweet things that we're also encouraged to do. No intoxication. This is one area which is quite difficult for some people to accomplish. But if we can understand the hazardous nature of taking things that are harmful for our bodies, like all substances of all sorts and kinds, then we should not hesitate and sort of just give it up and live more naturally, and see the benefit. Just try it out. Have some fun in life, for God's sakes. Be unique. I mean, at some point in time, like say vegetarianism, or people abstaining from taking drugs and all these kind of intoxicants, it might become so popular that you almost feel like, I want to do something different. I should just break the rules, and I want to be unique. I will take these substances. But wouldn't that be nice if the world got to that level, that point? So Prabhupada has given us certain principles to honor, and it's good if we can actually do them. And if we want to, let's say, come through in the end of our life as someone of some substance, I'm going to use that word in a different way, then it simply means that you have to, get gutsy about just doing what needs to be done, right? So if sporting companies can use that kind of philosophy, which according to you, Guru Prasad, was used by Prabhupada way before they came out with the idea.
In 1975.
1975, and yes, and the Nike company came out with this somewhere in the 80s, I think around 86. Just do it, somewhere in there. Just do it. So when it comes to surrender to Krishna, which is found in chapter 18 of the Gita, we should not hesitate, or at least start on the trail, on the path of taking the steps that it takes to get to the point of loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when you think about, don't you want to become a lover of God? If I put that question out straight to you, don't you want to love God and love His world? And says, well, it sounds pretty good. So what are you waiting for? What's the big hesitation? So the onus again is on us to take the first step, the second step, third step, and the last step. And we should always keep in mind that we're not alone. You will get help. You will get by with a little help from your friends. And this is what really it takes to advance in the Krishna conscious cause. Jai. So just to kind of wrap it up, if there's some apprehension, then I would encourage people to get into a prayerful mood and say, oh my dear Krishna, I have this weakness. I know what I need to do, but I'm not able to quite get there. So please give me the strength to get to the point where I can come to full submission. And Krishna, believe me, He will send you, signs, give directions on how we can take bigger steps, broader steps, and move go a little bit into the faster lane. He'll do it for you. We have to have that kind of faith. And faith is basically having a implicit faith in something, implicit trust in something sublime. That's what we mean by faith. Yeah. Good. So, according to our local Prabhu here, Guru Prasad Swami, who's helped us a lot for so many years here in the Yatra, Prabhupada saying, chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. So, along with that, the spirit is just do it. And then why not? Chant and be happy, another phrase. So just do it. If you want to be happy, answer yes. Most people will say that. And just like I asked one little girl, her name's Arya, in our community here and asking, do you like eating? And, like everyone likes eating. I've never met anybody who doesn't like eating. I've never, is that possible? Any of you doctors here, have you ever met anybody who doesn't like eating? I mean, maybe you can kind of like lose interest and you enter into a realm of detachment and you don't have an appetite. But really the act of eating and taking in the flavors and, making it go down. Like everyone, so in the same token, everyone likes happiness, and it will come. It's just a matter of, taking the steps and building up enough courage, kind of like a warrior, just go out there and do what needs to be done. And I think that's the strongest message that Krishna is delivering to Arjuna. Just go and do it, And so you have to kick yourself in the butt, because no one will force you. But you just have to make those steps, take those very affirmative steps towards success in life. For those people who are successful in the world, they get up early in the morning. Successful people get up early. The people that make a lot of the money, they're early risers. Good leaders, they're always up early in the morning. And we all know that, you shouldn't be sleeping in and being groggy and, and loving your bed and your pillows so much, your teddy bears, whatever you. It's really a matter of trying to transcend and doing what needs to be done. No, I have to get up now. That's right. I have to get up. Why? Because there's a big day ahead of you. And that day will bring with it many glorious challenges that will help to make you a better man or woman, a better person. Okay. Good. So thank you very much. We're all at a period where we have to sort of close down, but we would like to hear a little bit more from you. Myself and Raman, we're going to be leaving in a few minutes, and because we have a long journey ahead of us, and we have to admit that we have to just do it, right? Especially if you want to keep your job the next morning. Hare Krishna. So just do it. So everybody can say it real loud. 1, 2, 3. Just do it! Okay, any comments? Yes, Sunil.
Thank you for the wonderful discussion. I was wondering if I should ask this question, and then my intelligence would just do it. Just ask the question.
Okay.
But we know that one of Krishna's 64 qualities is being compassionate. So Priti, being compassionate, being affectionate to others. And we talked about lamentation, as part of this discussion. Isn't feeling pity or lamenting for others and feeling sad for others, does that fall under the umbrella of being affectionate and being compassionate for others, being sensitive towards others? Is there some overlap there?
Yeah, so your question is it advisable to be pitiful? Is it in that category? We have to move with the heart. A Vaishnava is somebody who has a heart and likes to see people progress and doesn't want to see anyone in pain, because Arjuna was showing compassion, that he knew that the inevitable result of engaging in war there would be some grief, incredible grief. The writing was on the wall that many people would die. And so he was feeling a compassion. But Prabhupada just see this. So that's one level of compassion. It's just saying like if somebody says, "Oh, you spilled the milk." Oh, that's just, okay. You can't just be crying over spilt milk, as the saying goes. You just have to, clean it up and go ahead and get some more milk out of the fridge and pour some more milk and carry on with life. And so Krishna is just taking Arjuna to another level and helping him to understand there's a higher level of compassion, that is for the soul. Krishna's main objective in Arjuna's moving forward and taking care of his duty was to see that the world was highly threatened by what we call adharma. You know, let's say the world overcome by lust and anger and greed and madness and envy and illusion. And these are not the kind of values that we should live by. And the world was going in that direction, and Krishna was saying we need people who will be carriers of the truth and carriers of Dharma. And for that, Krishna was just trying to encourage a higher level of compassion. It's not just the body will perish in any case, but it's the soul that we have to be concerned about. Once the soul is damaged severely, or what the Shastras also sometimes say, a dead soul. They talk about a soul that's killed. We want to try to avoid that, right? So more important than killing the body dying is that we should see to it that the soul will not be damaged or destroyed in any way. And so Krishna was vying for a higher level of compassion. And so we have that example of a drowning man. The devotees in New York used to do this little skit on Fifth Avenue or wherever it was, and right in the midst of all the crowds during business hours, one devotee came as an actor, say, "Help, help, I'm drowning." And then people said, what? How can you drown here on Fifth Avenue? And then the devotees flailing like this, "I'm drowning, I'm drowning." And then another person says, "Don't worry, I can save you. I'm a social worker. I've been very successful at helping people, so I'll help you, I'll save you." And so he comes in and knocks out unconsciously the person who's drowning, and then he pulls off his shirt, says, "I've saved you." And so the endeavor was, I've saved the exterior, but the interior was not salvaged. So the concern is more for the betterment of the inner self, as opposed to the external self. Arjuna's concern was about the exterior, and Krishna's concern was more about the interior. Like say, if you get into an automobile accident, you say, "Oh, there's an accident on the 401, which is not uncommon." And then, you know how I love the 401. And then, the traffic slows down. "Oh, they got into an accident." So that's one thing. The damage is done. Many, tens of thousands of dollars have been wasted now. So, but if someone gets actually hurt and dies in the process, then that heightens the level of compassion, and that then becomes more serious, right? So from one level of seriousness, Krishna's job is to listen. That is okay, but more important is the interest of the Atma. Anything else for Bruce?
Some comments online from Isabel saying, "Merci Maharaj for such inspiring words, Hare Krishna." And from Mother Ann also, "Hare Krishna Maharaj, many thanks for your lecture."
Okay, well thank you, Haribol. Any other comments? Okay, so I'm hoping that we will embrace this term JDI, just do it, will be something we can apply in the things that we need to know we must do. Okay. So thank you very much. And
Hare Krishna.
Oh, it speaks.
Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. When you say JDI,
Yeah.
all the circumstances of the environment, CAE, will not permit us to do JDI. How do you do that?
JDI meaning just do it. What was your short form? What did that stand for?
Circumstances and environment. CAE. Circumstance and environment.
And environment.
CAE.
Okay, CAE.
CAE is a gas.
Okay, I appreciate what you're saying. Yes.
This will not permit us to do it.
Okay.
We need the help of somebody else to help us to do the function what is we are intended to do
What
it.
needs to be done? Yes. So yeah, I appreciate we did bring up that point that you cannot, go solo in this area of spiritually advancing. You need help from others. So there should be nothing stopping us from making progress if there's a helping hand. That's the fact.
That's true.
So you have to reach out. The hands have been out there forever, and we've just been saying, nah, nah, nah. We don't even bother high five them. We just ignore. And so the point is, acknowledge there's help. It will come. Krishna, you've been asking for help, asking for strength. Krishna sends it, and then when he comes, you just kind of ignore it. So that's that. So that the JDI cannot manifest. So, recognize when the hand is being presented, when the hand is extended. I guess the hand, when it goes like this, it's offering, with the palm upwards, and the back of the hand down, that's an indication that, I'm helping you, please, I'll take you by the hand and we'll move together. So we just have to recognize the help when it comes to us. It is there. It takes perception. It takes, a little bit more of internal, let's say, development. So recognize these things. See the hand of God. See that super soul is definitely working in our favor. Thank you, though, Prabhu. It's nice to hear your voice.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhu.
Thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is Nicole from New Brunswick.
Nicole, how are you?
I'm okay. I know you don't remember me, but I remember in Montreal the fondness that of everybody all together for the Ratha Yatra. I always pronounce that wrongly there.
Well, you did pretty good. I think you did it very well. I think the pronunciation was pretty spot on.
And I know Gokulananda Das quite well from Montreal. But I'll tell you, it's not the same being pretty much alone here in New Brunswick. I'm taking care of my elderly mother. She doesn't live with me, but anyway, I miss all of you. I wish we were all together, and I'm hoping the next life.
Well, Nicole, can I ask you, where in New Brunswick are you?
In Lakeville. It's just 10 minutes drive from Moncton.
Okay, well, we do have devotees in Moncton.
Uh-huh.
We have some devotees. One person by the name of Etienne. I understand he's spending some time in the forest. But
Right.
we do have some people there. And if we can help you by directing you towards him, maybe that
Right.
would go a long way. What do you think? We have.
Well, I was a little bit in touch with Prabhu Etienne, but I guess they're not doing the puja. They're doing I guess a bit of a. I didn't quite understand there what exactly. It's not like you're not the temple like in Ottawa where I was going all the time living in Ottawa. So it's a little different there.
It might be. Right now, because of the COVID, even our full running
Yes.
temples are not, up to the
Yes.
standard that was once there, and hopefully we'll get back there. May I
Yes.
also recommend that we have some very nice presence of Krishna conscious people in Fredericton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, they do have regular functions, and
Right.
there are some very good people there. So if we can connect you with those individuals,
Yes,
is that
that would be wonderful.
okay? Well, definitely do it. And then when there's big events, devotees from the Atlantic provinces all come together to celebrate Janmashtami or Diwali, those kind of days. Functions.
Okay.
They do.
In Fredericton?
Either Fredericton or Moncton or even Halifax. Sometimes they do
Ah,
from those different provinces come together.
how would I find out about that?
Well, that's
If I give a phone number, is that possible?
is that something you could follow up
She
on?
can send us an email. We can,
Krishna Dulal would be happy to forward you the information. on
Oh, okay.
how to connect you with these people, and they would love,
Okay.
yes, being connected with you. Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's nice to have some, technology that allows us to connect with each other. Otherwise, you'd feel
Yes.
really
And by the way, I still sleep with my teddy bear, and I'm 61.
Oh, well, that's okay. I wasn't being. Well, do you have a name for the teddy bear?
Yes, little Mishka.
Okay, that's good. Okay, well, that's fantastic. We're happy to hear that. And people here are with me. They're delighted to hear that too, that you have a companion and that you're not alone. That's the word.
Thank you.
Be alone.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
I
Nick.
hope to see you. Thank you.
It looks like the information is going to you right now as we speak.
In the chat.
Okay, in the chat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I guess that's it then, Prabhus. All right. I hope everyone's happy and that you'll make application to JDI, right? Just do it. Let it go.
Thank you very
Srila
much.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Let's give another round of applause. And so now we'll just have a few minutes of kirtan before the curtains close, and prasadam is going to be being prepared to be brought upstairs. So last few minutes of say your prayers to Shri Gaur Nitai, come up close and personal, and then we'll see everybody again next week. Would you like to lead kirtan?
I can leave a little bit, but we really have to go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a 5-hour drive. We
Can
get there at
continue.
midnight.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So while we do kirtan, can I have the voice prepare prasadam to go with you, or do you want to take it?
Yeah, I think we'll just we'll check it out with him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't need any salad or rice for me personally, but where is that? Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.